Hi, so my name is Jason Levine, Worldwide Product Evangelist for Adobe, healing people daily with the power of digital video and audio, and I'm here to show you a couple of the new amazing things in CS5 Production Premium. So we'll start in Premiere Pro CS5, and one of the really incredible innovations that we're talking about is the new Mercury playback engine, and the fact that Premiere Pro, After Effects, Adobe Media Encoder, and Photoshop are all now native 64-bit applications. So of course that means that with 64-bit you can use all the RAM in your system, all your cores, play more, do more, and with Mercury as the source, as the playback engine, playback never stops. So what you can see here is that we actually have a mixture of red footage, and by the way, of course, all of these formats in Premiere Pro are native. There's no transcoding, there's no proxy files, everything's native. So we've got a mixture of red footage here at 4K, we've got some MXF files, 1080p, and some graphics. We've also got live keying happening here on this particular clip here, which you can see, which is our Ultra keyer, and we've brought now Ultra back into the sweep, and with the amazing power of Mercury, we can take these 9 simultaneous streams of HD and we can actually play them back in real time, and playback never stops. And part of the way that we're able to do that is with these fractional playback resolutions that you see here. So currently we're viewing this in half res, but you'll notice that when I stop, we'll be in full res, boom, and everything sharpens up really beautifully. So again, this allows you to really customize playback for the kind of system that you're working on, but with Mercury at the hub, effectively you can really mix and match all these incredible formats: 4K, 2K, 1080p, 3K, AVC HD, AVC Intra, 100 megabit, DSLR footage from your 7D or 5D, and it all just works. It's really, really amazing, and playback never stops. And again, you can see the red line here. This is all software. We're not even leveraging GPU acceleration. If you want to do GPU acceleration with the supported NVIDIA GPU cards, you can do that as well. Go into GPU acceleration mode, and now you can literally stack dozens of effects on top of those multiple HD clips in 1080p, in 4K, whatever it is that you're working in, and once again, playback will never stop. It's really amazing. So the next thing I want to show you is in After Effects, and this is once again one of these tools that just people can't believe when they see, and that's what we're calling the revolutionary roto brush, and this deals with the process of rotoscoping, and effectively a way to automatically rotoscope very quickly, isolating the foreground image and effectively allowing you to create those masks very, very quickly and then composite him into some other scene. So it leverages tools and techniques that we know from Photoshop, and we have a tool here, the Roto Brush tool, which functions a bit similarly to the Quick Select tool in Photoshop. I can come over to my character here. Let me just go ahead and shrink my brush size down. Something like this. And I don't even have to be terribly accurate. I can just draw some very simple strokes like this, and literally, instantly, it creates a pretty good mask. Now, I'm going to touch up the mask a little, shrink my brush size again, come over here and let's touch it up, add back in a piece of his shoulder right there, back in a little piece right here, add back in a little piece of the jacket, and literally in a few seconds, I've created a pretty amazing mask. Now again, to do this manually, rotoscoping manually, we're talking minutes. We're talking 10, 15 minutes maybe. We did this in seconds. Now traditionally you'd go to the next frame and draw it all over again, but now I can hit the space bar, and it's auto rotoscoping over time. Even as pieces are introduced into the frame that weren't there moments ago, like the collar, it's learning as the character changes and moves through space over time. But of course, we're just looking at this outline. How does it really look? Well, once again, this is where we're going to leverage some of the techniques that you've seen in Photoshop. We can toggle the alpha, and now we can really see just how amazingly detailed and clean this mask is. Look at the detail around the hair, around the edges, around the... I mean, this is done in seconds. And if we go into some of the controls here, you'll see that we have this new Refine Matte control, which again, very similar to what we have in Photoshop CS5 now with all of our new Refine Edge technology. When we click on that, you'll notice his face is a bit sharp, a bit harsh right here, very much a hard edge. Click on Refine Matte. Now we look back to the face, it's much smoother, and actually we're seeing a little bit of the motion blur going on there, because once again, one of the things we'll do with Roto Brush is we actually allow you to account for motion blur, make changes over time as the character, the isolated character, is moving through the frame. We've got decontamination options here, reducing chatter, choking, feathering, smoothing, really changing the way we think about rotoscoping. and cutting the time down enormously. Things that would have taken days can now take a single day. Things that would have taken hours can now be whittled down to an hour. You can still use traditional roto techniques, drawing Beziers manually, but this will get you there that much faster, and really we just think this is a completely, well it is, this is changing the way you'll do this work forever. And the fact that this is all now native 64-bit, it means of course that your RAM previews are exponential, right? In a 32-bit OS with 4 gigs of RAM, you could preview about 3 to 7 seconds at 1080p. Now with 16 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of RAM, you can preview effectively 1 minute, a minute 30, 2 minutes, as much RAM as you have, throw it to your system, After Effects will leverage it. Really amazing stuff. So the last thing I'm going to show you here is Photoshop, and this is again one of these incredible features that really makes people go, how do you do this? And it's something called content-aware fill. So what we have here is a gentleman standing across a background, and sometimes a designer might say, okay, well, we like the background, but we want to composite another character onto this background, so we need to remove this guy. So you would normally make a selection like I just did with the lasso tool. You'd hit the delete key, and this is what would happen. You'd see the white background. So of course, what you would do then is you would clone in the background, use the clone stamp tool, or paint it in, composite someone else on top of that. That's fine. Well, now, let's hit the delete key. Instead of choosing the white, which is the standard delete, let's go to content aware. It's going to click and analyze all the pixels around the character there, and boom. Now it did something very strange there. I don't know why it did that. So let's just go ahead and make a selection here. Delete, content aware fill, boom, move the pixels, boom, gone. We want to get rid of this tree. Let's go ahead and select the tree here like this, whatever this is. This it's not a tree, it's some kind of foliage. Select that here, delete, content aware, and wait for it, and gone. You will never know there was a character standing on that wall, naturally recreated, unbelievable. Just one of the many incredible, amazing features in CS5 Production Premium. You gotta check it out.